ॐ दक्षिणस्य समारम्भा शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमा अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ता स्मर्या गुरुपरम्परा श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। परिज्ञानाश्रम श्रीगुरुशङ्कर परिज्ञानाश्रम शङ्कर सद्गुरु केशववामन कृष्णपाण्डुरङ्ग आनन्द परिज्ञान गुरु सद्यो जात शङ्कर सद्गुरु गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। मनोबुद्ध्यहङ्कारचित्तानि नाहं न च श्रोत्रजिह्वे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च व्योमभूमिर्न तेजो न वायुः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न च प्राणसंज्ञो न वै पञ्चवायुः न वा सप्तधातुर्न वा पञ्चकोशः न वाक्पाणिपादं न चोपस्थपायुः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्. So we saw that Atma Shatkam or Nirvana Shatkam, as explained very much in detail in the last session, is based on three important principal teachings of Vedanta. That is, the first one is, whatever is an object of perception, I am not. I am not the object of perception. I am the very subject of any perceived object. That is the first principle. Second principle I told you, if I am experiencing any attributes or any properties, those properties don't belong to me, the observer or the Drik. Drik means the observer, the seer, the experiencer. But those properties belong to the experienced object. So there is here an object and subject vikalpa division. There is an object which is being aware, which is being known, which is being cognized by an experiencer consciousness. Therefore, I, the subject consciousness, cannot be the object which is experienced. This is called what is called as the Drik, drishya, viveka. Drishya means the object, drishyam, the object. Drik is the one who's the drishta, the seer. The seer can never be the seeing. That is number one. All the properties and attributes belong to the seen or experienced object and not to myself. That is the second one. The third one is anything which is made up of the five elements, pancha bhautikam, and which is constantly changing. I am not that. I am that consciousness which is not the product of the five elements, and I am the unchanging observer. Let me give you an example for this. Now, I am experiencing this book. The book is the object of my experience. I am the very subject. Now I am looking at you. The book is gone. There is a new object of perception. I am looking at myself in the laptop. I'm seeing my own image. So the image is an object of my perception. It has changed. The perceiver consciousness is the same. Now I'm looking at the light which is there in front of me. That is the object of my perception. I, the perceiver consciousness, has remained the same. The perceived objects are changing. I am the same consciousness which perceived this book also, experienced this book also. I am the same consciousness which perceived the reflection of this body in this laptop in front of me also. I am the same consciousness which experienced this light which is, showing or pouring light on my face. So that means what? The Drik or the observer consciousness or the seer is the same. The experienced objects change. Now I'm seeing something. Now I'm hearing something. I'm speaking now. The consciousness is the same, which is listening to what I am, the words which are coming out. At the same time, I'm this perceiver of the Vakindriya performing also. The perceiver or the Drik remains the same. The drishyam only changes. So, whatever changes constantly, I am not. Who am I? I am that consciousness which is the constant witness of all the objects which are coming one after another in my experience. And this is how I experience a number of objects in the entire universe. This is what is the drishya viveka principle and the three important principles of Vedanta, in which we saw in the last session, we saw that the first two verses talked about I am not the sukshma sharira. So, what are the aspects of sukshma sharira Bhagwan Shankaracharya is taking? That is the antakarana with its fourfold functioning mana buddhi ahankara chitta. He's taking the five organs of perceptions or jnanendriyas. Then he's taking the five elements Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, Prithvi. Then he's taking the Pancha Pranas and he's taking the Karmendriyas. So the entire Sukshma Sharira has been discussed as not me. I'm not the Sukshma Sharira. Why? Sukshma Sharira is an object of my perception. I am aware of what is happening in my mind. The mind and its thoughts are the objects of my perception. The sense organs, with their deficient functioning or no functioning or absolutely perfect functioning, are also the objects of my perception. The Pancha Pranas are the objects of my perception. Secondly, all of them are Panchabhautikas. All the five of them have properties, saguna, guna or properties. Therefore, sagunatvat, bhautikatvat, drishyatvat. The entire Sukshma Sharira is a mere drishyam or the object of my perception. I, the Atma or the Sakshi Chaitanya Atma, is the constant Drik, the constant observer of all the changing observed objects. And I told you in the last session also, here the method involved is in the first three lines there is a nisheda rupa vakyani. That means what? They're also called vyavritta rupa vakyani or nisheda rupa vakyani, where what I am not is reiterated first in the three lines. The last line says who I am, what is my swarupam. I am that Sakshi Chaitanya, auspicious Atma, Chit Ananda Swarupam. I am that knowing consciousness, Chit, of the nature of the knowingness, the knowing consciousness. Purnatva Swarupa Atma, Ananda Purnatva, auspicious. Because I am the one because of which the entire Sukshma Sharira is functioning. I bestow, I lend existence and consciousness to the entire Sukshma Sharira, to all its 19 components to function as an integrated unit and also make the Sthula Sharira sentient and work along with the Sthula Sharira, what we call as the Karya Karana Sanghata. The body mind sense complex, which is called the Karya Karana Sanghata, is perfectly working because of my presence as the consciousness. That we saw in the first two verses. Let us go to the third verse now. न मे द्वेषरागौ न मे लोभमोहौ मदो नैव मे नैव मात्सर्यभावः न धर्मो न चार्थो न कामो न मोक्षः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्. Again, the second principle of the Vedantic teaching. All the attributes that I experience belong to the object of perception and not to me. That is the second. What did I say? The three. You have to remember these three principles of Vedantic teaching for all this. Very important. Drishyam, I am not the Drishyam, I am the Drik. Number one. All the gunas, the attributes, properties belong to the drishya object, not to me, the Drik. The third one is the drishyam is always changing because bhautikatvat, elemental, it is an elemental. Whereas I am not a product of the Panchabhutas. I am the very cause of the Panchabhutas. Therefore, I am not the Panchabhutas, I am not Bhautika. So the second principle is taken here. What is it? The attributes or the properties that I experience belong to the object of perception. Now I am experiencing this cloth, this sari I am experiencing. This is an object of my perception. This is drishya. I am Drik. This has a property of a color. It's of a green color sari. So the green color or the greenness does not belong to me. Though I am perceiving the greenness, I am not that green. The green belongs to this cloth. It does not belong to me. That is what he's saying here in the next two verses. That all these things, the thoughts that we experience, and all the abnormalities of the functionings of the sukshma sharira, with all their attributes, belong to the sukshma sharira. They don't belong to me, the Drik. So he says, Name dvesha ragau. Dvesha and raga, likes and dislikes, they are the properties of the mind. It's not even the body, it's the mind that likes or dislikes. Especially when there are polar opposites, which is the case in the Jagat outside. This is the mind which likes something, which dislikes something. The mind wants something, wants to get rid of something. Raga means what? I want something. I want to acquire something. Dvesha means what? I want to get rid of something. That is why it is said actually, in many texts, Vedanta texts, the only type of karma that individuals do is acquiring and giving up. Hana upadana, giving up hana, dvesha, upadana, acquiring because of raga or desire. So the dvesha and raga belong to the mind. They don't belong to me. But what do I say? I hate this. I want to get rid of this. Who hates something and who wants to get rid? Not I. I am the very subject who has even understood and I'm seeing the like and dislike. I am aware that something which is not liked. I am aware of something which is liked. So, where is the like? Where is the dislike? Where is the raga? Where is the dvesha? It is in the mind. The raga dveshas belong to the antakarana. They are the properties of antakarana. Therefore, I am not those properties. So I have to be very careful when I say I like this very much. It is my mind which likes it. I don't have any likes or dislikes. Name dvesha ragav. I don't hate anything. It is the mind because of its samskaras or because of its, whatever, impressions. It hates something, wants something. I don't have ragadveshas. Name lobha moha. I want more. I want more. Who wants more? It is the ahankara, the mind which wants more. Lobha, greed. The greed is a property of the antakarana. It's not my property. Therefore, I am not greedy. When I say I am feeling greedy for something, I am not greedy. It is the mind which is greedy for something. Moha. I am confused. I am deluded. I am not confused. It is the buddhi which is confused, which is deluded. It is the property of the buddhi. It is the property of the sukshma sharira. So name dvesha ragav, name lobha moho, mado naiva me naiva matsarya bhavaha. Mada, arrogance. I say he is arrogant. I say I was behaving arrogantly. I was arrogant. I am arrogant. I am not arrogant. It is the ahankara which is arrogant, which thinks it is something and there's nobody equivalent to me. We saw that in the 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita also. What kind of ideas they have, the Karta has about himself, that nobody equals me, I'm not equal to, I'm greater than everybody else. All these things, mada, this ahankara, it belongs to what? The individual ahankara. Mado naiva me naiva matsarya bhavaha. I say I'm jealous of you, I'm jealous of them. I'm not jealous. Jealousy is not my property, because atma is nirgunaha. Atma does not have any properties. It does not have any visheshanas. What is it that has matsarya or jealousy? It is the mind which compares itself, or the ahankara which compares this individual with somebody else, and somebody who's better than this individual. This mind feels a sense of heartburn or jealousy, which is matsarya, property of the mind, property of the intellect, not intellect, mind, ahankara, manobuddhi, ahankara. So this whole thing, draga, dvesha, matsarya, mada, they are nothing but the properties of the anthakarana. I am those. We have to be very careful. That's why every time we say, I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm jealous. They are not my properties. They are the properties of the anthakarana. Na dharmo na chartho na kamo na mokshaha. The purusharthas, dharma, artha, kama, purusharthas, they are the pursuits of the ahankara, the individual mind, not mine. I don't have purusharthas. The purushartha is meant for a jiva, for an ahankara. Na dharmo, na chartho, na kamo, na moksha. If not, then who am I? I'm sans all this. I don't have any properties. I'm the propertyless, niravayavi, nirguna, nirvikari, sakshi chaitanya atma. Okay. Another thing we have to remember, only matter principle has properties. Consciousness principle does not have any properties. What is sukshma sharira? Matter principle. So matter principle has all the properties. We can even extend it to the sthula sharira. I am tall, I am thin, I am dark, I am fair. What does it mean? I am talking about the properties of the body as though they are my properties, though it is not told here. Because here, Bhagwan Shankaracharya is not giving much time to Sthula Sharira. Just passing, he mentions as Sapta Dhatur and Panchakosha. Otherwise, he's talking straight from Sukshma Sharira onwards. So, what he says is, Na dharmo na chartho na kamo na moksha chidananda rupa shivo. I am the Niravayavi, Nirvikari, propertyless, Nirguna, Atma Amasmi. All the gunas, all the properties belong to the body, mind, sense complex. So, in these three verses also, the first three lines are negating what I am not. In the third verse, it negates any properties for me. I am the propertyless, Nirguna Atma. And who am I? I am the auspicious consciousness, Chit Swarupa, of the nature of Nyapti Swarupa, the knowing consciousness, making the entire Sthula Sukshma Sharira function. Therefore, I am the most auspicious one. The same thing, the properties are continuing here, the next verse also, in the fourth verse. न पुण्यं न पापं न सौख्यं न दुःखं न मन्त्रो न तीर्थो न वेदा न यज्ञा अहं भोजनं नैव भोज्यं न भोक्ता चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्. So, all that acquisition of punya and papa, na me punya, na punyam, na papam, na saukyam, na dukham. I don't accrue any punya by doing anything or not doing something. I don't accrue any papa. Papa and punya are not for me. Dharma and adharma are not for me. They are for the individual jiva. A jiva which thinks that it is bound, a jiva which has to go out of the cycles of birth and death. It is for that jiva there is an accrual of punya and papa. I have no punya, no papa. I don't accrue any punya, papa. Why? I am a karta. I don't do any karma. When you do any karma, there is an accumulation of karma phala in the form of punya and papa. But I am akarta atma, abhokta atma. When I am the akarta, abhokta atma, what can I accrue in the form of karma phala? I don't do any karmas. I am the Sakshi Chaitanya of all the karmas of the karta. Who's the karta? The body, mind, sense complex ahankara is the karta. Who's the bhokta? The body, mind, sense complex ahankara is the bhokta. Bhokta means what? The one who experiences the karma phalas. Karta means what? The one who does the karma. It is the Vijnanamaya or the Buddhi or the Antakarana. Ahankara is that which is the Karta. I, the individual Jiva, thinks that I am the doer and does all the karma. And therefore, the Karta Jiva accrues all the Punya and Papa. I am not a Karta. I have nothing to do with karma. I merely witness all the kartrutvam that is happening in the body, mind, sense complex. Like this light, which lights up all the activities that are going on in this room, uninvolved in any activity that is going on. Similarly, I, the Atma, is the light of consciousness, which lights up all the karyas, the karmas done by the Karta, and all that is experienced as a bhokta by the individual. I merely light up the karma, the kartritvam of the jiva. I'm in no way involved, therefore I don't accrue punya and papa. So the punya, when I say my punya that I'm happy now, it's not my punya. It is the punya accrued by the jiva. I say what kind of papa I must have done to suffer like this. I, the Atma, have not done any papa because there is no kartritvam there. The papa has accrued to the body, mind, sense complex, individual, what I call as the jiva. That is what it is. I, the Atma, the consciousness, Sakshi Chaitanya, is a mere Sakshi to all these Punya Papa. That's why we saw in Kathopanishad where Nachiketa asked this question, Anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat, anyatra arthat, krita akritacha. Hey Yama, hey Acharya, tell me that which is other than anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat. That which is other than the punya papa, that which is krita akritatvat, that which is different from done and not done, different from karma, different from punya papa, that which is beyond punya papa, kartritvam bhoktritvam. Tell me that what it is. You know that, you tell me. That's what he says. So here he says that na punyam na papam na saukyam na dukkham. Naturally, sukha and dukkha are the pairs of opposites, which is nothing but a response of the body to the pairs of opposite transaction outside. When this body mind sense complex is experiencing any difficult situations, it experiences dukkha, discomfort or dukkha, not happy with what the situation is. Sukha, happy with myself and the situation and the world around. Sukha, dukkha are the properties of the sukshma sharira, of the mind. They belong to the mind. And they are also witnessed by me. Correct? That punya and papa that I have accrued, this jiva has accrued punya or papa, that there is sukha, that there is dukkha, which is experienced by the body mind sense complex, is experienced by me. The properties of sukha, dukkha, punya, papa belong to the jiva, the body mind sense complex. But who am I? I don't have those properties. I am the seer, I am the Drik, I am the Sakshi Chaitanya, the witness of punya, papa, saukya, dukkha, not affected by any of them. Therefore, who am I? I am the Sakshi Chaitanyam, or I am the mere Karta, and I am the mere Akarta Atma, the Sakshi Chaitanya Atma. No papa punya accrues to me, Asanga Atma. That's why it's called Asangatva. In spite of my being in and through this body mind sense complex, I, the Atma, is Asanga. I don't get any lepa from the punya, papa, dharma, adharma, nothing. That which belongs to, which is a property of the jiva or the ahankara. Na mantro, na tirtho, na veda, na yajna. All the sadhanas that are prescribed by the Veda Purva in the form of, chanting of the mantras or Vedas, and certain tapas or certain disciplinary actions like, disciplines like visiting sacred places or Veda, the significance of what Veda Purva says, na yajnaha, no worship, nothing really is mine. All this, the Vedas they are actually relating to whom? The Vedas are talking to whom? To the Jiva, not to me, the Atma. I, the Atma, does not have to be instructed by the Vedas, either in the form of yajna, dana, tapas, vak tapas, sharirika tapas, manasika tapas, all those which Lord Krishna talks about. Amanitvam, adambitvam, ahimsa, kshanti, arjavam, acharya upasanam. All these are for whom? All these values are for whom? All the Vedic injunctions are for whom? All the disciplines like Tirtha Yatras, etc., are for whom? Chanting of the Vedas is for whom? It is not for me, the Atma. It is for all the Vedic injunctions, all that the Veda asks me to do is for this body, mind, sense complex. For this Jiva, ultimately to understand that I, this Jiva, is nothing but this consciousness. I am not this body, mind, sense complex. All these are meant for me, the Jiva, to understand that I am not the body, mind, sense complex part of me. My Swarupam is this Atma Swarupam. Therefore, all the teachings of the mantras, the Vedas, and all those disciplinary actions, sadhanas that I am doing, we saw in Sadhana Panchakam, they are not meant for Atma. They are meant for me, the Jiva, the ignorant Jiva, to ultimately understand this Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivo. To understand this, all the sadhanas are meant. Therefore, none of these sadhanas are meant for me. Then he says, Aham bhojanam naiva bhojam na bhokta. So I am not the object of bhoga. I am not even the subject of bhoga. I am not the process of bhoga. This is, I am not the bhojanam, bhojam, bhokta. I have nothing to experience. I'm not the experienced object, nor the experiencer jiva, nor the process of experiencing. I'm not that. Who am I? I am that consciousness which lights up the experiencer, the, the process of experiencing, and the experienced object. Aham bhojanam naiva bhojam na bhokta. This we call as a triputi. That is who? The pramata, pramana, prameya. Let's not go into it. We'll look at it some other time. I don't want to confused with too many concepts here. Let us just understand that I am neither the experienced object nor the experiencer body mind sense complex, nor am I the very process of experiencing. Then who am I? I am that consciousness which is lighting up the experiencer, the experience, and the experienced object simultaneously. Okay, so when I say I am eating an ice cream and enjoying the ice cream, I am enjoying the ice cream. I, the jiva, the body mind sense complex, enjoying, experiencing bhojanam, bhojam, that is what ice cream. So the experiencer, the process of experiencing, and the experienced object. I'm not any one of them. I'm not any one of them. All the three are anatma, and all the three are known by me. As I am experiencing the taste of ice cream, there is this consciousness aware. I am enjoying the ice cream. I'm aware of myself enjoying and the ice cream simultaneously together. Therefore, who am I? I'm neither the enjoyer of the ice cream, nor the process of enjoyment of the ice cream, nor the ice cream. Then who am I? I am that consciousness which lights up all the three. Aham bhojanam naiva bhojyam na bhokta chidananda rupaha shivoham shivoham. Who am I? I am that Chit Swarupa Ananda Swarupa Atma, the knowing consciousness without any properties, Nirguna, Nirvikari, Asanga Sakshi Chaitanya Atma Ahamasmi. In my presence, Sannidhi Matrena, by my mere presence, the entire Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Sanghata works in this impeccable manner. Because of the proximity of the body mind sense complex with myself, this Atma, I am confusing one for the other. I'm mixing up one for the other. I think I have the properties. I think I am the enjoyer. I think I am the doer. No, I'm not. Because of this proximity, I'm confusing. Really speaking, I'm not any of them. I'm merely the Sannidhi Matrena, the one which makes these things happen. Another example is given like an iron filings and magnet. Magnet doesn't have to do anything. In its presence, all the iron objects come to it. Similarly, like what Krishna said, Navadvare Pure Dehi na Kuruvanna Karayan. By his mere presence, the Navadvara Pure Dehi, like a king in the nine gated city, not doing anything, everything happens in the Sannidhi of the king. Similarly, I am that Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. The fifth verse. न मे मृत्युशङ्का न मे जातिभेदः पिता नैव मे नैव माता न जन्म न बन्धुर्न मित्रं गुरुर्नैव शिष्यः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्. So, I don't have the fear of death. न मे मृत्यु शंका न मे jati bheda. I don't have any kind of a bhedas in me. Divisions are not there in me. I am that divisionless consciousness. Jati bheda means, there are three types of bhedas. We have discussed that in the Vivek Chudamani. Vijatiya bheda, sajatiya bheda, swagata bheda. That means what? If there are two types of things, different things, then it is called as Vijatiya Bheda. One is absolutely different from the other. Sajatiya Bheda, in one itself there can be many members and there should be a difference between the two. Let us take a human being and trees. Trees and human beings are different, Vijatiya Bheda. In the human beings itself, there are many human beings, so there is Sajatiya Bheda. In the individual human being itself, there are multiple parts of the body, swagata bheda. But here it says, nade mane jati bhedaha, vijatiya swajatiya swagata bheda rahita. There are no two things, there is only one Atma. There is not more than one Atma. And I, this Atma consciousness, has no divisions. Therefore, Sajatiya, Vijatiya, Svagata, Bheda, Rahita, Atma, Ahamasmi. Because of this, there is no Mrityu Shanka. Why? I am not born in the first place. Ajam, Ajo Nitya Shashvato Aham, Puranoham. Therefore, there is no question of the Shad Vikaras. There is no Janma, there is no Mrityu. That which just doesn't have a birth, doesn't have death also. Name Mrityu Shankha. There's no doubt about death, no fear of death. When I say I'm scared of death, people say I have the fear of death. I don't have the fear of death. It is the ahankara, it is the mind which has got the fear of death. I don't have the death. Name jati bheda. I don't belong to any particular group. There is no vijatiya, swajatiya, swagata bheda. Pita naiva me naiva mata na janma. I don't have any origin. I don't have parents. It's this body which has got a parentage. Even the sukshma sharira doesn't have a parentage. Sukshma sharira is traveling. That's why once the body is gone and the sukshma sharira travels, it will never remember who is my child, who is my father, who is my mother. Millions of lives, millions of bodies. All the relationships are related to the body, not even to the sukshma sharira. So, pita naivan me naiva mata na janmaha. I have never been born. Agotram Jatiniti Kulado Gotraduragam Namarupa Gunadosha Varchitam Deshakala Vishayadivartiyat Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavayatmani. We saw those Niridhyasana verses in Viveka Chudamani. That's what he says. Pita naiva me naiva mata na janmaha. I don't have any origin or parentage or gotra because I was not born. I'm unborn. I have been there all the time. Not that I was not there sometime. I'm here now and I'm not going to be there after this. No. All the pita, mata, janma is for the body. Na bandhur, na mitram, gurur, naiva shishyaha. So the bandhu, mitra are all the relationships to this body. Putra, putri, kalatra. Kalatra means what? Spouse. Putra, putri, mata, pita, bandhu, mitra, all with reference to this body. My cousin, it's not my cousin, it's this body's cousin. My mother, this body's mother. The mother and father have given birth only to this Panchabhautika Sharira, that's all. They have not even given birth to this Sukshma Sharira. It's only this body. When the Sukshma Sharira wants to embody itself, when the Prarabdha karmas have fructified, we need a vehicle through which this Sthula Sharira is brought, and the mother and father, the parents, are mere instruments or vehicles for this Jiva, this Sukshma Sharira, to embody itself. So all the relationships are only body relationships. My child, because the child came out of my body and I just was an instrument for that jiva to embody itself, doesn't belong to me. Gurur naiva shishya, see to what? Till there also we have to go. Guru, Shishya. As long as I'm an individual, I feel I'm bound. I say I'm a mumukshu. I want freedom. I want moksha. Therefore, I'm going to do the sadhanas. And therefore, I have to find a guru to teach me. This is with respect to the jiva. With respect to this body mind sense complex. I, the Atma, is absolutely muktaha, siddhaha, nitya shuddha, buddha, mukta Atma amasmi. Whereas the question of a guru or shishya, I'm neither the guru nor the shishya. Guru with respect to this body, shishya with respect to this body. That's all the roles that I'm playing. When I want moksha, When I become a mumukshu, I become a jignasu, I become a shishya. If I have understood this knowledge, I may share this knowledge with somebody, take the role of a teacher. All these are roles. The roles that are taken by the jiva, body, mind, sense complex. I have nothing to do with these roles. So whether it is Mata, Pita, Bandhuhu, Mitraha, they are mere connections to this body, and all these connections are prarabdhavasha. Remember that. Today, if I have any friends, it's out of prarabdha that there is some unfinished transaction, they're there. Same thing. If I have come into this particular environment and situation, it is because this jiva, this body mind sense complex has to finish, has to fulfill some transactions with this particular surrounding. Prarabdhavashat, this body has, this jiva has embodied itself among some people here. So where is the question of mamakara here? So there is no ahankara, mamakara, varjita, atma aham asmi. Nothing belongs to me, nobody belongs to me. Pita naiva, me naiva, mata na janma. Pita, mata of this body. It doesn't mean we shouldn't respect them. It doesn't mean we should not. We should play our role. According to the Shastra, yes, I am not actually the son or daughter to anybody. Nobody is my father or mother. Really speaking, nobody is a friend. But this body mind sense complex has a certain duty or a role to play with respect to these people, and this body is going to, body mind sense complex is going to fulfill this duty of prarabdha. But who am I? I am that Sakshi Chaitanya Atma, uninvolved, unaffected by any of the roles that this body mind sense complex is playing. Then who am I? Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. I am that Ananda Swarupa, Chit Swarupa Atma. I have nothing to do with the roles that this body mind is playing. I have nothing to do with the properties of the body mind. I have nothing to do with the purusharthas that the jiva has. Now, the last verse, which says, I don't even have the bondage and freedom, mokshas also, no, because I am ever free. So, this is the extent to which I have to really understand what actually Advaita is. So, what does he say in the last verse? What Bhagwan Shankaracharya says? Sorry, yeah, Pitane also. And then Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. In the last verse, what he says is that who am I? What is my Swarupam? He wants to, sort of reiterate the positive aspect, the Swarupa Lakshanas of me, Atma. In all these five verses, what was done? The first three lines talked about the Nisheda Swarupa or Vyavritta Vakyani, Nisheda Vakyani, what I am not. And last line said Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. That Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham is going to be expanded in the last verse. And the Swarupa Lakshanas, who am I then? If I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this, am I Shunya then? Am I nothing then? No. I am a positive presence, positive consciousness. What is this consciousness? What is my Swarupam actually? That is what is going to be told in the sixth verse, the final verse. Aham nirvikalpo nirakara rupo vibhurvyapa sarvatra sarvendriyanam sada me samatvam na muktir na bandha Chidananda-rupah Shivoham Shivoham. So, Aham, then who am I? If I'm not any of this, if I'm not the Stula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Karana Sharira, if I'm not the properties belonging to the Stula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Karana Sharira, if I'm not, the Karta Bhokta, if I'm not the roles that I'm playing, if I'm not the ahankara that I'm thinking of, or the mamakara of people around me or mine, nothing belongs to me, neither this body mind sense complex or anything, then what am I? What is my swarupam then? Aham nirvikalpaha. Nirvikalpaha. I don't have any divisions in me. Vikalpas are not there. I am one continuous consciousness principle without any divisions. There are no bhedas. There is nothing called inner and outer, like space, like light. Can you divide the space? No. It is only an arbitrary division. Like in this house, in this room, I have got space. I call this the room space. Is it really the division of the space? Arbitrary division of the space. When the light is there in this room or that room, it is the arbitrary division. Can we divide the light and space into divisions, vikalpas? They're not there. Aham nirvikalpaha. There are no vikalpas, no divisions in me. Nirakara rupaha. I'm nirakaraha. I'm of the nature of nirakara. Rupa means I don't have a rupa. I'm of the nature of nirakara. I don't have any rupa, any akara. We can take space and light. Space is there, it is nirakara. It does not have any shape, size, akara. Wherever the space is, it takes up that particular shape. Similarly, light, there is no akara. Aham nirvikalpaha, divisionless, nirakara rupaha. I am of the nature of absolutely no shape, formless. I am the formless consciousness, nirakara rupaha. Vibhuhu vyapya sarvatra. I am Vibhuhu. I am that one which manifests in many names and forms. Vividam rajate iti vibhu. Vibhu means I am that consciousness which manifests as various names and forms in this entire universe. I am the Vibhu. Vyapya sarvatra. I am sarvagata consciousness. Sarvendriyanam. And that consciousness, Vibhuhu, manifesting as everything, manifesting myself in various names and forms, as the various objects of the universe. I manifest myself. I don't convert myself. I manifest myself into various names and forms of this entire universe. Sarvatra. There's no place which is there without me. Everything is in me. Mayeva sakalam jatam, Mayi sarvam pratishtitam, Mayi sarvam layam yati, Tad Brahma Advayam Asmi Aham. In me everything rises. In me everything exists. In me everything resolves. I am everywhere. Everything is in me. There is not an iota of place where I am not. Sarvagataha ahamasmi. So what is that sarvatra? Sada sarvendriyanam. I am that consciousness behind all the jivas and the indriyas. All the indriyas of all the jivas, I am that consciousness which gives sentience and makes them function. Vibhuhu vyapya sarvatra sarvendriyanam. Sada me samatvam. I am always the same. Samatvam. There is never any change in me. Non-changing. There are no vikaras in me. There is no asti, jayate, vardhate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, vinashyati. These shad vikaras are not there. Absolutely not there. Why? Because I am niravayava. I am partless. I am the whole. When can there be any changes when there are parts? When something is put together, it can be dismembered. When there are many parts, the parts can be removed. But then, who am I? I am nirvikalpaha. I am partless. I am divisionless. I am the whole. Therefore, nityaha shashvataha puranaha, what Bhagwan Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita. Sadame samatvam. I am the same. I am the same consciousness. So I am the same I when I was a child. I am the same I am when I was a youth. Today, past 60 also, I am the same consciousness. The body is changing, body has changed. The properties of the body mind sense complex have changed. Dehi nosminyata dehe Kaumaram Yavvanam Jara. We saw that in Bhagavad Gita. I am that changeless Sakshi Chaitanya Atma, changeless consciousness. All the time aware myself. It is self aware all the time. That I am, that self awareness is the same. Whatever may be the, whichever may be the place I am, whatever might be my age, whatever may be the situations around me, whatever may be the state of the body, mind, sense complex, I am, that awareness is the same, never changing. Sadame sarvatvam, na muktir na bandaha. I am not bound. I do not require any moksha. I am mukta atma, mukta swarupa, nitya shuddha buddha mukta atma. Who requires freedom from bondage? Not atma. I am ever free. I am the siddha vastu. Then who requires? I, the jiva, have to understand that really speaking, I am not bound. I am of the nature of the mukta swarupa atma. The bondage is a mere moha or confusion. And what does the, what do our scriptures tell me? What does Vedanta tell me? It does not bring an Atma and make it stand in front of me. Vedanta says your confusion is because, hey Jiva, you are identifying with the body mind sense complex and feeling the bondage. May you understand that you are not the body mind sense complex. You are the ever free Mukta Atma Swarupa. You were never bound in the first place. There is no question of moksha. Whatever you are looking for moksha is nothing but your own Swarupa. Therefore, look at yourself, your wonderful self, the way you are. Vedanta is actually just showing me a mirror and making see myself what I am. Vedanta is not bringing in a new Atma and telling me, see, this is you, the Atma. No. It is removing my confusions. It is removing my projections. It is removing my false ideas about myself. Vedanta is only removing my moha. It is removing my ignorance about myself. It is removing what I think of myself, the wrong perception of myself. And when all the wrong perception is removed by Vedanta, I, the Atma, I shine in my own purity. And who am I? Sadame samatvam na muktir na bandha. I don't need moksha, I'm moksha swarupa. That's why Atma is called as the siddha vastu. Sadhana, sadhya, sadhaka is not necessary. Sadhana, sadhaka, sadhya is necessary only till I understand my wrong idea about myself. Atma aham siddha vastu asmi. Therefore, namuktirna bandhaha. I have never been bound. The idea that you are bound is your moha. That's what our scriptures say. You are not bound. You are ever free. But now you don't understand that because you are considering yourself to be something else which you are not. And Vedanta says, I will help you to clear your confusion. And when the confusion is cleared, when ignorance is taken care of, automatically this Atma, I reveal myself in all my glory. And then there's no question of mistaking myself for the body, mind, sense complex. So Sada me samatvam. I'm all the time there. In the same way, Ajaha, Nityaha, Shashvataha, Puranaha. Of course, there he said, Krishna said, Lord Krishna, Na hanyate hanyamane sharire septi. I'm not the body which gets destroyed, changes and goes, and another body comes. I'm not that. I'm not this ever changing, ever disappearing and appearing body. I'm not the ever changing body mind sense complex, the ever traveling mind complex, the jiva. But I'm what? I'm the Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. I'm that consciousness Swarupa Atma, Chit Swarupa Atma, the knowing consciousness, the knowingness. When I say I know, that knowingness is me. Nyapti Swarupa, Jnana Swarupa Atma Ahamasmi, Chidananda Rupaha. That is why I am the most auspicious, because I don't have any kind of a loss, I don't have any gain. I don't grow, I don't become small, I don't become big, I don't become small. I don't get affected by anything, I don't get sullied by anything. Therefore, I am the most auspicious. Chit Ananda Swarupa. I am of the nature of Anantatvam or Purnatva Swarupa Atma, and whatever happiness that this body mind sense complex is experiencing is a mere reflection of my Atma Swarupa. Therefore, who am I? I am the Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. So, with this, we have completed the Atma Shatkam. Atma Shatkam, which is also called as Nirvana Shatkam, and most beautifully in 6 verses, Bhagwan Shankaracharya has given the most important 3 principles of Vedantic teaching in trying to negate what I am not and then positively see my Swarupam as to what really I am. So the next verse, next work that we are doing, stotra we are doing, is called Hastamalakiyam. There also a very similar thought process is going to be there. That's why I've taken these two together, Hastamalakiyam, in which we'll find a similar discussion that is going to take place. So Atma Shatkam is a good beginning for understanding Hastamalakiyam also, which we'll see in the next session. ॐ नन्दन्तु साधका सर्वे विनश्यन्तु विदूषकाः अवस्थाशाम्भवी मेस्तु प्रसन्नोऽस्तु गुरुः सदा सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखमाप्नुयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः